Hey you guys, before we start the video, just a reminder that my no New Year's resolution workout challenge is on my website. Programs range from beginner to advanced and come with a nutrition program as well. Snatch it up before the new year. All right, let's hop right into this video. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My thoughts will probably offend you. And today we have episode 3 of responding to fat chicks. And so anyone who's new, who's just hopped onto this channel and doesn't know what this series is all about, this isn't about shaming fat people, this isn't about making fun of fat people, and this isn't about, making someone feel bad about themselves for their body size. As a personal trainer and ex-overweight person myself, I think there's a lot of lack of education when it comes to weight loss. And I think many people give up. I think many people think that their body is just meant to be obese or morbidly obese. And I think many people think that some people are meant to be fit or thin and some people are just meant to be overweight. I also think there is a huge barrier between the fitness community or like the health community and the body positive community. And I really want this series to help bridge the gap together, because honestly I think both sides can learn something, and both sides, fitness and body positivity, we go through quite a bit of the same things. And if you want to see how I talk about that more, it's covered in episode 1 and 2, because I've had the opinion of this side before and I had the opinion of this side before, and now I'm kind of in the middle. And that's why I came up with this series, because I do think there's just lack of communication and lack of education when it comes to what it takes to be healthy. So sometimes I come across poster videos that remind me of my past self, and I'm like, man, I really wish someone kind of just told me what I know now. In a nice way, not a rude, barbaric, you're a fat piece of get on the treadmill type of way. So today we are going to be responding to a girl named Gabriella Fortunato. She's a YouTube blogger that mostly does, vlogs and a lot of try on hauls for plus size ladies and a couple get ready with me videos. So as I popped into YouTube to watch some videos, her video came up titled Storytime Fat Shamed by Family. Probably be very interesting because I want to see like, okay, how did your family fat shame you? Did they actually fat shame you, or did they talk about health? Because many people will get on my Instagram and my YouTube like all angry with me because I say being overweight, being obese, being morbidly obese is not healthy, and they say that that is fat shaming. I personally don't think that's fat shaming, and I think everybody has a different definition of what fat shaming is, and there's no clear definition. It just seems like it changes. But to make it clear on my channel, I think fat shaming, which I just like to call it being an asshole, is when you are saying things like, oh, you fat piece of oh, look at her, she's jiggling, she's all jiggly and gross. Oh, look at you, fatty, or you're disgusting. I mean, personally, I honestly get the same thing said to me, calling me gross because I have muscles or I have abs or, I look like a man. But I don't know what that's called. Is that like fit shaming, muscle shaming? I don't know. I call it being an a-hole. But I don't think talking about health is fat shaming. So I wanted to see what defined her family as fat shamers. So let's hop right into Gabriella's video.
So I wanted to talk to you guys about family who fat shames. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my family to death. I come from a huge Italian family, so I don't want you guys to think that like my family is the most awful people in the world. Like they don't, none of that is true. It's just, they feel a certain type of way about being fat, and they don't, I don't want to say support it, but they don't agree with it, and whatever. It's just, that's how it's always been.
So even right there, I can kind of get the feel of where she's going to be going with this. I'm someone who does not agree with being fat, just like I'm someone who doesn't agree with someone who is being anorexic. I don't agree with that lifestyle because it's not healthy on both sides. I personally don't see anything wrong with someone saying I don't agree with obesity because it's not good for us. I personally don't, I really don't understand the whole like, oh, they don't agree with your body. Like that phrase is kind of odd with me. I just don't think it's healthy. It's not that I agree. I don't know, I just find that, is that weird to agree with your body? Like I know people don't agree with my body, they say it's not feminine. I just always thought like they just don't like it. And I know many people who don't like, the obese look, which is kind of a good thing because once again, it's not healthy. Just like a lot of people don't like the anorexic look. It's not healthy.
Growing up, I've always been a heavier girl. I've always been a bigger girl. I was a big child. I am a big adult. Like it is what it is.
So I'm getting the impression that she is someone that thinks like this, but basically what she says, it is what it is. This is what her body is, and that's that's it. She also says, like her mom is plus size, kind of giving off the idea that, well, her mom's plus size, that's why she's plus size, which is true. But in her head, and this is just me thinking of what she's thinking about, can't be for sure, I don't know what she's actually thinking, just from past experience of working with obese people and, me myself, she's probably saying, well, my mom's plus size, so it's in her gene pool, it's her genetics. Like, look at my family, everybody looks like this. And I was very similar. My family told me, we're not meant to be small, like, we're big people, and they'd always like slap their body, like slap their large booties, and like this is what it is. Look at us, like we're big people. That's how it is. We're black. Apparently, being fat is a black thing, but we are on the high side, black women, for being obese. I think we're the highest, actually. That's not the point, but I thought I would throw that tip out there. But I get what she's saying. I was the same way. I was like, oh, well, my family looks like this. That's just what I look like. But in reality, I'm eating the same thing that my family's eating. And so our genes, yes, it plays a role on where we put our fat. And that's why we all look the same, because we're eating the same and we have the same genes. Now when I go back, they think I'm anorexic because they think that that's what our bodies are supposed to look like, because that's what everybody else looks like. But in reality, you just have the same diet as your family did. So her being a big kid is just, yes, genes definitely have a part in it, but she was probably overeating, which made her gain weight, just like her mom was overeating and she was having her kids overeat, and that's how her body took it. Genetics do play a part, but not as big of a part as people think. The food that you're eating is the biggest part of what results you're gonna get.
Since we're Italian, there was always a whole bunch of food out, and there was always big parties and gatherings. Everyone was eating and drinking and everything else. So like I said, I've always been a bigger child.
So her family was a lot like mine. They always had food out. They were Italian, lots of pasta, high carb, mixed with cheese and oils, which is even higher in calories. It seems like they probably didn't have a limit to the amount of food that they were able to eat. Like, I see other families, they're like, oh, you had one plate, you're good. My family was like, oh, you only have one plate, you need about 2 more. And me, as a natural born eater and a food inhaler, was like, yeah, I'll eat 2 more plates. Like I said in other videos, I love overeating, and if there's no limit, I will eat it all. So it looks like from a young age, same with me, she didn't have a limit to food, and she probably doesn't really know portion size very well.
I would hear things like, do you really need to be eating that? Or, Gabriella, that's not good for you. Stop eating that. You should be eating salad. You should be eating vegetables. It was only to me. All of my other cousins are thin and beautiful, and they could eat whatever they wanted, drink whatever they wanted, no one would say anything. So it was basically just because I was fat, people would want to monitor what I was eating.
So I'm like in the middle here, because I get it. It kind of sounds like her family just wanted her to be healthy. They obviously saw that she was a bigger girl and they wanted her, to lose weight. Kind of hard to do that if you keep putting pastas and things out, for free grabs, because I know I wouldn't limit myself. I'm just gonna eat all of it, duh. And as a parent, I think it's your responsibility. If your kid's overweight, change the food. And when I see other parents notice that there's a weight issue going on with just like one of the kids, they just tell them, eat a salad. And yet they still prepare like the pastas and the cakes and this and this and that. No, you're the parent, you need to start making healthier food. The other thing I have an issue with that I see like with my clients, and I have to tell them, dude, that's not the way. You are just going to cause an array of issues in your child as they grow up and as they become an adult. But they, obviously if there's just one fat kid in the family, they know they look different. They're probably insecure about how they look. And so if the parent goes up and says something while everyone else is eating and say, Gabriella, you should eat a salad. Asshole, F you parents, why didn't you make healthier food? Why aren't you teaching your child, portion sizes as you gobble down your 2 bowls of pasta? That's just something I see a lot, and I have to tell my clients that's not how you do it. You have to change, you're the head of the family, you are making the food. You have to change the way that you're probably eating too. You need to start portioning out, portion sizes. You're the parents, you're supposed to teach your child. That's why you have kids, to teach them things. You can't just say, oh, eat a salad, be thin. So I don't know if they said it like in front of everyone or if they actually were trying to influence health rather than thinness. I think they were probably, like she said, be thin or be skinny, whatever she said. I think that's damaging. I think talking to them about health, that's a good thing. That's what you want to talk to your kids about, whether they're thin or fat. Talking about health to children is great. I wish I got that when I was a kid, because it took a lot of years of learning and a lot of money. So yeah, talk to your kids about health. That's not fat shaming to me. If they did say those kind of things in front of everyone and kind of embarrassed her and said eat a salad, then yeah, I would guess if we're gonna use the word fat shaming, that was pretty fat shamish. But if they were just talking to her about health, you know, they pulled her aside, said, you know, we really want you to be healthy, and you know, maybe we could all like eat a salad and not the pasta, and we can get healthy together. I don't qualify that as fat shaming. I think that's just family watching out for you because they see a problem.
It started as early as I can remember, 4 years old. And then I remember going shopping, and we would go down to see my grandmother, me and my mom, and my Nana always would love to go shopping, and you know, that's always great and fine and fun, but I always had a little bit of anxiety because I would feel embarrassed that I couldn't fit into the same things that my cousins were fitting into, and I couldn't shop at the same stores.
Okay, yeah, so I'm sure she felt like very secluded, like she was probably the only big girl while everybody else was very thin.
So my Nana's favorite store was Lord & Taylor, so we would go to Lord & Taylor, and I just remember her picking things out for me, and would go and bring them to the dressing room, and I would go in the dressing room and I would just sit there and cry hysterically in the dressing room because nothing was fitting, and I felt ashamed and embarrassed, and I didn't want my grandmother to be disappointed in me.
Who here has cried in the dressing room, or at least like borderline about to cry? Tell me in the comment section. Be real. Even if you're a dude, maybe you didn't cry, but maybe you were upset. I don't know. But tell me in the comment section. I know I have. I don't have a response to that. I just wanted to show how many people can get upset in a dressing room. And I would get upset in a dressing room when I was thin, when I was fat, and when I was muscular. Just wanted to throw that out there. Just because someone has a nice body doesn't mean they aren't insecure. Back to Gabriella.
And that is honestly how I felt. That's how I still feel to this day, that she was, I'm getting emotional, that she was disappointed in me because I was never thin, and I just felt like she couldn't be proud of me.
So to me, that really wasn't fat shaming. That was just her feelings and what she felt her grandma thought of her. So
there were countless trips of that. And then the holidays would come around, and you know, I would get a beautiful outfit. I would be so excited. I knew everyone would be dressed up, and I always wanted to feel and look as pretty as everybody else. And I would get there, and my grandmother would tell me things like, Gabriella, you would be so beautiful if you lost 50 pounds, or you know, that dress would look so much nicer on you if you just dropped a little weight. Okay, so that's rude. If you are a family member and you're saying those kind of things, that's just kind of rude, you know, especially when you're at a party and you get all dolled up and you're feeling good about yourself, and you just want to bring them down to the ground. You just want to verbally punch the living daylights out of their self-esteem. You just want to stab them in the heart 28 times. Verbally. Like, come on, grandma. That part, yes, that's rude, grams. And I can relate to that because me and my grandma were not close. I couldn't wear, look, walk, anything. Everything was wrong about me. And I also wanted to make a quick point about how similar the body positivity, or like obese people on this side, and like the mostly muscular women specifically, how very similar the comments are. I get that comment, or I used to. Now people don't with me because I have a little bit of a mouth on me. If someone's being rude, I'm gonna say something. But when I first started getting muscular, I would always get the comment, you would look so much prettier if you didn't have so much muscle. It would fit you so much better, you know, if you just you know, just trimmed off about 15 pounds of muscle. Just trim it all off. You know, the toned look. Not that pesky, strong look. Just get rid of that and be thin. Ladies in the body positivity community, we get it too. Tone for the entire night. Like, I didn't want to eat in front of them. I didn't want to reach for food. I never wanted to eat anything that everybody else was eating. Like, I would always just grab like salad and maybe a piece of chicken, and then I would eat half of my plate and I would say that I was full. Was I full? No. Did I go home and eat? Absolutely. But was I gonna eat in front of them? No.
So right there, now I don't know for sure, this is all just from like past experience with myself and just other people that I've worked with, but it sounds like she was a closet eater, as in she would not eat in front of other people to prove that, you know, she doesn't eat very much, and then go home and probably binge. And usually when you do that, you eat even more than what you would eat at the party in front of people, because you're extra hungry, because you know, restricted your calories right there, so you're going through quite a long time before you eat. 2, you're pissed. People probably said a very mean comment to you, like her grandma did at the party. 3, anxiety is probably high, and that's not good, especially if you're a binger. 4, you're probably like, you know what, I'm fat anyway, bring on all the food. I'm not sure if that's what she was thinking, but that's what I would think before when I was similar to that. But yeah, it sounds like she was a closet eater slash binger, which will rapidly make you put on weight because of the excess amount of calories.
And I was in 4th grade, and I was put on Weight Watchers, and you know, from a very early age, I had this idea in my head that my body was wrong. Something was wrong with me. I had to change it. You know, I had to monitor my eating. I could never just eat and be okay. It always had to be, how much of this are you eating? How many calories are in this? How many grams of fat are you eating in your body? How many, you know what I mean? Like, it was never just, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna eat this food, and I'm not gonna think about the consequence.
So I love this part, and I'll tell you why. I love this part because at a young age, she noticed there was something wrong, and there was something wrong. Obesity is not healthy. I can pull up tons of studies as to why it's not healthy. I think people know that it's not healthy. But as a child, she saw this. Now, at the same time, I think the comments and how her parents or her mom went about it kind of gave her the wrong impression of what healthy is, and kind of gave her some anxiety when it comes to eating healthy and calories. There's nothing absolutely wrong with wondering how many calories is in something, because most Americans, we overeat. Our portion sizes are ginormous. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't see why there is. Now, I know that there's people that get obsessed, but that, I think, in her case, came from the comments that her parents, you know, gave her, and like her family members gave her. Putting her on Weight Watchers, that's something that I wouldn't do, but once again, it's just that, you know, a lot of parents are not educated when it comes to weight loss and getting healthy. A lot of parents themselves are practicing unhealthy weight loss type methods. So if they see a problem in their kid, they're probably not going to have the best weight loss method for the kid. I am getting specialized in kids in weight loss right now. I have helped kids in the past losing weight, but I just want the piece of paper to prove that I know how to do it. But putting your kids on Weight Watchers is definitely not the way to go. At least that's what I'm learning, and personally that's not what I would do if I had an obese kid. It just makes them feel like they're even more of an outcast. And watching this video, I can see that she just didn't feel like she was, you know, physically one of them, which sucks, I get it. And the rest of the video, it just brings up different stories of when she was a child and her grandma, mostly it was focused on her grandma, would say certain things to her, which I can relate to. Wasn't close to my grandma. She was close to hers, which is awesome. But my grandma would say, you know, little things like that. I don't know what it is with like older people and them like saying these little things to their grandchildren. But can you stop, guys? That does scar us. I remember every single comment my grandma has ever said to me. And that lady died like 10 years ago. And I still get flashbacks. I think that the grandma did, like according to what people think fat shaming is, I think the grandma was, you know, she was rude when it came to that. Like, I think it definitely scarred her as an adult. There's no, you know, problem with actually admitting that. Like, I admit that the comments I got from my grandma, and you guys know, you know, with my dad series that I'm posting right now, that it has me up mentally. It's not bad to admit that at all. And I think it's very freeing to just admit that, you know, certain comments when you were little really did you up. With that being said, I do think her and many people in the body positive community think this way. They think that they are just supposed to be that size, and they're under the impression that there is no way out of it when there is. But unfortunately, they were taught not the best health and weight loss practices. They were taught diets, they were taught Weight Watchers, they were taught, you know, just be thin. Thin is good. And yes, being thin is good, but not always good. Thin people can be unhealthy. But being obese and having an excess amount of body fat is definitely not healthy. And I know many people in the body positive community love to say, you can't tell someone's health just by looking at them. But the reality of the subject is, when you look at obese people, we know that they are not healthy. It may not show in the doctor's records, but having that much body fat squeezing your internal organs and pressing on your joints is not healthy. And it won't be healthy for your future. Like I said, it might not show now, but it will. Gabriella and other people like her are actually my type of clients that I love the most, because I feel that they are just so convinced that it is what it is. And I love being that person to show them that it doesn't have to be like that at all. You don't want to just give up and throw in the towel. It's not the end of the road for you. You can change. You just have to be consistent and work hard. And most importantly, change your mentality, because that is a huge impact on what will happen to your body and how you will act through this get healthy journey. If you already just threw in the towel, your motivation is going to sink really quickly. So I'll link the rest of Gabriella's video down below and you guys can watch the rest of it. I do think the comments that she got were, you know, if you want to name it, was fat shaming. I personally call them rude comments, but because it was in her title, we will use fat shaming. I think that teaching our kids about health rather than making it about being thin is very important on their mental health, especially as they grow. Our childhood shapes us for adulthood. And I think as adults, we want the children to grow up to be very mentally stable, taller people. And I hope this video opens up dialogue between the body positive community and the health and fitness community in a positive way. We don't have to be at each other's throats. We don't have to insult each other. We can have a healthy dialogue and hopefully bridge that gap between the two communities. I wish Gabriella the best. I think she's a gorgeous girl. I just think her upbringing really affected her mental attitude when it comes to health, fitness, and weight loss. And Miss Gabriella, if you are watching and you ever want to talk health, fitness, weight loss, or even mental health, I am so down. And if you hate me and you hate my opinions and you hate that I did this response video and you think I'm fat shaming, that's totally okay too. We all have, you know, we all are entitled to our opinion. I just don't think anyone should settle and say it is what it is if they don't have to. I think you could be a fighter, Gabriella, when it comes to this. And I hate when I see people just kind of give up. But once again, it's their choice, not my choice, not your choice. It's all up to them if they want to do it or not. I hope this video didn't offend anyone, minus the title of my channel. It's definitely not the purpose of these videos. I'm looking forward to reading all of your comments. Do you think that her family was fat shaming her? And how would you approach your child if they were obese? Remember, you don't have to be a size 2. Abs are great to have, but they are not needed to be healthy. Biceps are great to have to scare all the boys away. But I want everyone watching, even if you just think I am the worst person in the world, to be healthy as they can. To live a healthy lifestyle, to be there for your kids, to be there for your friends and family. People, like I said, I watch my family members slowly dying because they are addicted to food and it doesn't look like fun. It's not cute, it's not a walk in the park, it's actually pretty painful looking. With that being said, take little steps to get healthier. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.